He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
This one's wife. It's in the can. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. A number of news outlets are carrying the announcement that this one's wife's Netflix cooking show has wrapped filming. This has been reported in the Daily Mail, In Style, New York Post, and the Daily Beast, amongst other news outlets, who are telling us that the filming has been completed, which rather throws into doubt the suggestion from other platforms that it had actually been scrapped. Evidently, the news is out there that it is in the can. Is that the shit can, one wonders, which is probably where this utter bilge belongs. But what does Tom Sykes of the Daily Beast have to tell us about this filming and its completion? Well, apparently, this one's wife needs a hit. No, that's hit, not shit. If she is lucky, she may have one soon. She has finished filming her new cookery and home show. The Daily Beast understands that that's the case, meaning her as yet untitled new project could soon be appearing on Netflix. Yes, that's what the world needs right now. A cookery show brought to you courtesy of a charisma-free dullard who wears beige a lot. Nevertheless, it will provide a lot of people with entertainment. You can well imagine that we will be treated to the over-exaggerated gestures, the staring down the camera lens as she attempts to entice you into her world of cooking, a la Nigella Lawson. Could you imagine how sick you will feel as this one's wife attempts to sex you up through the power of cooking? It was bad enough watching her when she was flipping the burgers and attempting to get all porny around them. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Just demonstrates what a terrible actress she is. Nevertheless, in this cookery show, she will believe that she is Marco Pierre White, Nigella Lawson, Gordon Ramsay, all of the greats, all of the TV chefs, all of the TV cooks rolled into one. Because remember, her narcissism reminds her and drives her to believe that she's the best. There is that voice that tells her, stare into the camera lens, make love to the camera, honey. Why not twirl your hair a little bit? And I imagine that she won't be following any hygiene protocols, as her straggly hair will be hanging down around her face. Who knows? Keep your eyes peeled if this ever comes to the screen and you can bring yourself to watch it. If you manage to see a stray hair fall into the food, contact me and I'll arrange a prize for you. I should imagine that there's a risk that that will happen. This one's wife naturally wants to make a success of this, and as the Daily Beast states, she's crying out for a hit. Apparently, a Hollywood source has told the Daily Beast it all went well and it is in the can. A spokesperson for this one's wife declined to comment to the Daily Beast when asked if filming had finished. Neither the streamer nor this one's wife team have said when the new series will air or what it will be called. However, this one's wife has said it will celebrate the joys of cooking and gardening, entertaining and friendship. This one's wife was recently spotted by one TikTok user filming in a Beverly Hills park. The industry insiders said that while it was possible that the show might need a few extra shots, they suspected that the filming uploaded to TikTok was unrelated to the home show project, as the team had got everything they needed. What's that? This One's Wife smearing apricot jam across her rather large shoulders? Is that what they mean by getting everything they need? Is it the case that she's wrapped her oversized feet in filo pastry and flapping them through the air? Does that mean they've got everything? What about Harry wandering in and deciding to eat sushi off her naked form? Is that what they mean when they say they've got everything? Well, only time will tell. The Daily Beast has been told that filming has now ceased at a residential property just a few miles from This One's Wife and Prince Harry's own home, which was being used as a principal set for the show. While the decision on when to transmit the new show will ultimately be down to the streaming giant, This One's Wife will likely be eager to make a start on her new career as a home and lifestyle guru in the mould of Martha Stewart or Gwyneth Paltrow as soon as possible. And there is no denying that a slam dunk smash hit would be extremely helpful, you don't say, after a perceived failure to follow through coherently and profitably with her various initiatives and businesses in recent years. On her 40th birthday, in 2021, This One's Wife announced that she had invited 40 of her friends to offer 40-minute mentorship sessions to individuals and encourage others to do the same. Because I'm turning 40, I'm asking 40 friends to donate 40 minutes of their time to help mentor a woman who is mobilising back into the workforce, This One's Wife said in a video announcement at the time, which of course was facade management. She said the act of service would create a ripple effect. But nothing was ever heard of the programme again. An aide for This One's Wife did not respond to a query about 40 by 40. Whilst it could be argued that 40 by 40 was only ever meant to be a one-off initiative, the fact is that there were no updates, progress reports or tangible outcomes shared with the public, suggesting it had no actual impact, let alone sustainability. It therefore fits the critics' narrative of This One's Wife's modus operandi. High-profile announcements which promise much with great fanfare, but ultimately deliver little. The list is long, beginning arguably with the way the couple announced their exit from the royal family, publishing grand plans for their new model of being semi-private royals without getting it agreed by the royal family, and then being forced into a humiliating retreat on almost every issue months later, including being stripped of their HRH titles and accepting a ban on using the word royal in their branding. The couple had some bad luck in that the pandemic shut down the world immediately after they left the family, but that hardly explains the string of projects presented either as businesses or philanthropic efforts involving high-profile personalities which have seemingly vanished without much of a trace. Most glaring of these was the podcast deal with Spotify, which produced minimal content and failed to create a significant buzz. But their Netflix output has also been slight, apart from the Harry and This One's Wife's documentary, which was really a first-person rehashing of their grievances with the royal family. The latest big splash, of course, is This One's Wife's new brand, American Riviera Orchard. ARO Jam has been all over social media, but months later there seems to be not a single ARO product available in any shops, leaving potential consumers fascinated, to be sure, but with their wallets still intact. One expert on the intersection of talent and business, the PR consultant Mark Bukowski, told the Daily Beast, "The issue is This One's Wife's ability to generate actual money. That is dependent on the quality of this new show. I suspect it won't be a car crash. There is too much riding on it, and she's being repped by the most powerful talent agency in the world, who will have gathered the right people around her. If she has listened and learned, and is comfortable in the new role as a kind of sub-Martha Stewart, sub-Oprah, this could be a relaunch to something new and interesting. If it is another fail, it will be more difficult, because she will have to pivot to yet another new direction. But the bottom line is that whatever This One's Wife does will always generate massive interest. She brings eyeballs, and that means there is a long line of people who would still want to align with her. She will always attract somebody who will want to leverage her brand." Well, those are the views of Mark Bukowski. And the Daily Beast, of course, has fixed upon the notion that quite possibly, even though the cookery show is in the can, whether it sees the light of day Whether it becomes a success is far from guaranteed. The Daily Beast has highlighted, as I have done in the past, numerous initiatives of this one's wife which have gone nowhere. And they also pick up on the modus operandi of announcing something and then not following through with it. This is typical of this one's wife because of three factors. 1, she has no talent. 2, she is lazy. And those two things segue into this. Her narcissism simply says, if you can get it by talking about it rather than doing it, that's all we need. That's why narcissists regularly engage in the manipulations of promised gain, threatened loss, future faking, whereby the narcissist tells you about something that's going to happen in order to cause you to react in the moment. Remember? The narcissist isn't concerned with what happened yesterday or what will happen tomorrow. The narcissist, subconsciously, is concerned with what is going on right now. You don't have to be controlled yesterday. That's gone. That's past. That's dissipated into the ether. The narcissist isn't concerned with control of you tomorrow. What matters is controlling you right now, this instant. What matters is receiving fuel from you right now. And thus this one's wife, like any other mid-range narcissist, or indeed lesser narcissist, functions in the moment without due regard for what will be coming next. This means her narcissism directs her to go, hey, 40 by 40 scheme, yeah, whoopoo, yeah, look at all of this. And it generates a response which shows that people are under control. It provides her with fuel. It manages her facade, the residual benefit. And then there's no need to do anything else. It's achieved what it needed to achieve. Therefore, no follow through. I'm going to march on Washington with Gloria Steinem. Cue response. Demonstrates people are under control. Fuel is provided. Facade is managed. Did she march on Washington? No, she didn't. I'm all for parental leave. This is a campaign that I'm getting behind. Have a letter. And senators, have some cold calls. Reaction provides fuel. Facade managed. Look, I care about this. Where is the issue of parental leave now? Nothing's happened in relation to it. And so she embodies, as you would expect, that typical narcissistic dynamic of utilizing talking about something rather than actually getting on with doing it, because the narcissism only cares about achieving the prime aims in the most cost-effective and economically applicable manner, the most economically efficient way. And that invariably means lots of talk, but not so much walk. And thus, if you're wondering why is it that she rarely follows through on these things, it is because she doesn't have the innate talent to drive it home. She's inherently lazy, which is sort of also linked to her entitlement. She thinks things should just manifest for her because it's her. But overall, it's governed by her narcissism, which needs to get to the prime aims, and if it can do so by just talking about things or putting in the minimum of effort, then that's all that will happen. Thus, that's why, for instance, with archetypes, she wasn't that involved in it. Other people did the interviewing, and then she came in and did her talking over the top later on. Why only one series was generated, and it took her an age to even pump that out. Why it has been the case with Netflix, that the output there has been minimal, because when the deal was announced, she got attention, which was fuel. It showed people under control. Wow, look at her go. $100 million contract that she secured. Brilliant. Isn't she impressive? Some of the money will have been paid. There's the residual benefit. Oh, what? I actually have to do something, do I? Netflix are insisting on it. Oh. So eventually, she gets around to being interviewed and being involved in the creation of the Harry and This One's Wife series. And of course, that was then just utilised in order to smear the royal family and try and make people feel sorry for her. With this cookery show, which apparently is now in the can, it really does remain to be seen whether it actually see the light of day. Netflix may well just think, well, ultimately we'll put it out there because it's now being created and we'll see what happens with it. It's not going to be a success because Mark Bukowski, the PR individual, fails to take into account this, that as the years have trundled by, more and more people have fallen into one of two camps. They're either sick to the back teeth of seeing this one's wife and they don't give a shit about her, or they're invested in eyeballing what she's up to, but only because they want to see where the train wreck goes. They want to see her crash and burn. They want to see her fail. They want that because there is a sense of justice, that an unpleasant person who is an elder abuser, who has been nasty to people left, right and centre, her own family, the family that she married into, staff and so on and so forth, that she should get her comeuppance. And thus, people continue to watch, not because they like her, not because they want her to succeed, but they want to see her fail, and they also want to ridicule her output. Because the other aspect of this is, as a mid-range narcissist, she is incapable of learning from what she has done previously in order to improve. Therefore, she keeps committing the same gaffes. She still keeps holding herself out as some living embodiment of Diana, Princess of Wales. She tries to make out that she's some form of saint. She tries to continue to convince the world that she is this content-creating genius, and all she does is provide further grist to the mill to prove that she's none of those things, which most people find hilariously entertaining. There will be a few people that align with her. I wouldn't say that it's a long line at all, as Mr. Bukowski suggests. On the contrary, most people recognise, stay away from her. She'll taint your brand. You'll get markled. The Sadeem touch will come along. The fact is, the Cookery Show will make an appearance, and, naturally, your glorious narrator will be on hand to eviscerate the nonsense that we will witness. But what do you think? Do you think the Cookery Show will ever see the light of day? Do you think that it will just be popped on a shelf, gathering dust? Do you think it will appear, but it will fail? It'll get quite a lot of viewers, because there'll be people grudge watching. Or do you think that it won't get particularly many viewers? Do you think that it will sink without trace? And where will all of this lead to with regard to American Riviera Orchard retirement homes? Will she now actually start to do something with it? Or was that again just simply a device to try and overshadow the Diana Legacy Awards, and because it actually requires effort, she can't be bothered to get on with it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.